Hi guys! We have been on the road for a little over a week. On Saturday we left the country and we are now in Denmark after a journey through Germany. Whilst we were still in the Netherlands, we decided that on our journey through Europe and through the rest of the world, we would try to limit our plastic waste. But before we left, we also took a tour through a Dutch supermarket to see the plastic-free options. It was quite a challenge to find some plastic-free or package-free options, and we would like to share it with you. I hope you like it. It's probably something different from the things you will see in the supermarket, as you don't all live in the Netherlands. And as we travel through Europe, we will see how different stores actually are. We obviously have seen Germany before and have seen quite a few stores now as well, and it looked very similar to the Netherlands. Currently in Denmark, haven't seen too much yet and might even film something here. I hope that you enjoy watching this video and see how difficult it is to find plastic-free products in a regular Dutch supermarket, so take a look. So we just walked through the fruit and veg section, and it was clear that most of the products are packaged in plastic. So I thought I'd show you some of the things that are completely unnecessary. Here you have some carrots, and here are package-free carrots. Carrots are actually not easily damaged at all, so it doesn't make sense to package them, according to us at least. And the same also goes for beets. So we have beetroot fresh here, but we also have it cooked and packaged in plastic. Here we have some red and white cabbage, and again these products are very hard and tough, so packaging them in a thick layer of plastics is completely unnecessary. So in this entire area we count 5 products without plastic, and I think at least 20 in plastic. And some products that solely come package-free are leeks, celeriac and onion. So here we have all of the fruit and veg that you can easily eat raw. And the thing that shocks us most here is the paprika or bell peppers. So usually we often see loose bell peppers that are unpackaged and then a combination of 3 in plastic, but here every single bell pepper is packaged in plastic, so that's something that we can't put in our basket. Tomatoes though do come in plastic and package free, so that would be an option, but other products like lettuce do not come package free. We now have some package-free tomatoes, sweet potatoes and ginger. Other fruits and veg that we can find here are pumpkin, plantain, cassava, I'm not sure what you call that, and then we have sweet potato and ginger, and some cauliflower. Here we also have some green beans. So here you have zucchinis or courgettes, and they are package free, and actually those are one of the vegetables that are easily damaged, but they often come package free, which is interesting compared to the carrots for example. And if you want to go for an organic one, they actually come wrapped in something that looks like plastic, but if we turn the plastic around, it actually says that it's compostable, so I'm not sure what it's made of, but this is completely compostable. But then again, as you can see, it's not necessary if the other ones are plastic free. All of these refrigerators do have quite a few options of lettuce, but again, they are all packaged in plastic, and they are also pre-cut, which is easier, which is something we don't need. Now this is one section that we are super happy about, but again it does just make sense. Here we found pineapple, melons and other products similar like that. We even found package-free avocado and mango, so that's great. Those are into our basket now. But here we have other exotic fruits and citrus fruits, and they all come in plastic nets. except for loose lemons. But we do have some of those in the fridge, so we don't need them today. Stepping aside a bit, we did find some clementines and also some kiwi. So for fruit, it will not be too difficult to find our grocery shopping here. We also have some nectarines, peaches, and some grapefruits. So here we can scoop our own walnuts without plastic packaging, but the bags beside them are plastic. So that's another fun and interesting fact. Here we have quite a few apples, again just plastic free, pears as well, but they come with plastic bags to put them in. So usually what we do is either we take a bag along or we just dump them in the basket and then have the cashier deal with it. We'll just apologize that we don't want the plastic bag. But again, each product also comes in a plastic option. Another product that we really like is potato, and we do include that in our diet sometimes, but that is very difficult to find package free. So that is why we opted for sweet potato this time, and we do eat that more often, but the regular potatoes are out of the question. So here we have all of these lovely bananas, and aside from the stickers, they are waste free. But the organic fair trade option comes packaged in plastic. So that's a shame. Since we mainly eat vegan, it's actually important for us to include legumes in our diet, but they always come in plastic. And again, here is what we see. There are only plastic options if we want the fresh and dry variety. And here we have nuts, and they are all packaged in a plastic bag, and some even come in paper and plastic. So one of the things we did like to eat was a replacement for meat. So we eat vegetarian, mainly vegan actually, and these products are actually quite nice, but they always come packaged in plastic and paper. And one of the better products would be tofu or tempeh, but again, those all come in plastic. And as you might eat meat, I thought I'd show you the entire meat section here, or part of it. All things come packaged in plastic. And that's actually a given, you probably know that, but all meat is always packaged in plastic. So we are now at the pasta section, and actually most of the products come in plastic. And then there are a few varieties that come in paper, but they have a plastic gap in the middle so that we can see their beautiful product. But there are actually quite a few cheap varieties that come fully in paper. And it's even the whole grain variety, so this would actually be the cheapest and plastic free, but also the healthiest variety. Here we have spaghetti, the cheap variety, and the more expensive variety has a plastic gap. So in this store there are quite a few products that contain mixed packages of herbs and spices, and they contain a lot of plastic on the inside of the paper packaging. But we never use this type of stuff. We like to make food from scratch, so these things we will skip in this video. But the regular Dutch family actually buys a lot of this, and so you can see that there's quite a lot of plastic in the more easy type of things. With the rice, most products actually come in paper, so no plastic at all. But for people that like a more easy option, there is actually a box with plastic inside that you can heat up in the microwave. But again, that's not something that we like to do. But for organic quinoa and couscous, you can see those lovely plastic windows again. So if you want to go for a better option organic wise, you often end up with plastic, and that's a recurring item that we see here and in most stores in the Netherlands. So another product that we can't buy and are probably going to have some difficulty finding is tortilla wraps. We really like these, but they always come in plastic and sometimes even also some added paper. But we can obviously try to make them ourselves using some flour, and I think that's something we'll try. We have a 4-burner stove in the van, so It should not be too difficult actually, and if any of you has a good recipe for that, then please share it with us, because we can't find those things plastic free. So another thing that we often use is canned tomato and canned tomato puree, but these jars, although they are made from metal, the inside is covered in a small layer of plastic, a thin coat, and that means that they are often not BPA free and not plastic free. So this will just be a case of checking the back of the packaging. This small sticker here means that it has to be discarded in the general waste and not in metal recycling. Same thing goes for the organic tomato puree, but the store brand tomato puree is actually plastic free, so we can take this one but not the other. And again, we can see that here and there. So finding plastic-free olive oil doesn't seem to be an issue, though half of the products here are completely packaged in plastic, so the bottle and the lid are all plastic. And we are not sure what the idea is with this lid, because it is metal, but the inside always differs. Sometimes the inside of the lid has a bit of plastic to close the bottle a bit better, but at least the bottle is completely recyclable. Buying herbs and spices is not necessary either. Although half of these products are packaged in glass, the lid is always made of plastic. So all of these olives come packaged in glass, but the lid contains plastic and has to go into the general waste. We did find this small tin of olives that is completely made of recyclable steel though, so those would be an option. Okay, so here we have quite a few of these glass jars, and although the packaging says package can go into the glass recycling, we are not sure on the lids, and it just differs per product what you can do. So here it says jar in glass waste and lid in general waste, but some other jars don't specify, so it just depends on the product. But if we're not sure, we won't buy it anymore. So we showed you the dried legumes earlier, and they all come packaged in plastic. But since we live in a van, we don't have the option to soak them overnight for 24 hours and then cook them for an hour. But the package options either have plastic on the lining of the tin or on the lining of the lid, so these are all excluded now. So this is actually quite difficult. As you can see, most of the products indicate that the lid has to go in the general waste and the jar has to go in the, or can go in the recycling. But we found one jar in which the lid and jar can both go in recycling, so we're not sure what the difference is between those lids because they look the exact same. So we have now ended up in the aisle with soda, and most of these products come in plastic, or they have been wrapped in plastic before we can get the cans. And although some of these bottles actually have to be returned to the store, the plastic cannot be recycled more than once or twice, so it's still plastic even though it might be reused or recycled here. Red Bull packaging is actually made of aluminum, and you actually have to dispose of this in the general waste, and then it will be taken out using a magnet. But Coca-Cola then again is just general waste. It's not just made of aluminum. It does indicate that the company attributes to the waste in some way, but the packaging itself is not just aluminum, and it's not recyclable. Now, we don't really drink any processed products actually, but we could drink this pear juice as the bottle is completely recyclable. For a really long time, we've actually been looking for biodegradable toilet paper. We have been using this type for a very long time as it's completely made from recycled material, but it's not biodegradable. It's probably not even plastic free. Sadly though, all of the products here are packaged in plastic, and this is one of the things that we can't avoid, but luckily we do still have 4 rolls at home in the van, so yeah, we can skip that for now. So here we have all of the personal care products, and we do not buy that in supermarkets. We actually haven't bought that for a while. We have been given quite a few biodegradable package-free products by friends and family, and we have avoided using anything similar or like this for a very long time. But yeah, it's plastic bottle, plastic content, and often it's not vegan either, so this is not something that we'd ever use again. Now, medicine is something that might not be necessary, but if you have a very bad throat ache or cough or headache or migraine, you will have to take something at some point depending on your personal preferences. Everything here is packaged in paper on the exterior, some things even in plastic, but the interior actually comes with a combination of plastic and metal. So sadly, it would be difficult to avoid such waste if you buy medicine. Most of these boxes of tea bags actually come packaged in plastic again. And I just found this Clipper tea, which probably is organic, it's fair trade, and it's lovely. I really like the packaging. I also really like this product, but I'm not sure if the bags are biodegradable, and often tea bags actually contain a bit of BPA. They are not completely plastic free, and the package doesn't indicate that they are, so I'm afraid to take them, so I'll leave them here. So since we really value healthy living, this is not a type of product that we would usually take, but again, everything just comes in packaged in plastic or even in several types of materials. I think that this is the most disappointing fact here. All of the non-dairy milk, so oat milk and rice milk, are all packaged in Tetra Pak, and that actually includes plastic, and it's not BPA free. But all of the lids are also made of plastic. And one thing that we actually had to buy today was oats, and usually that comes packaged in paper, but this is in plastic. One thing that we did find packaged in paper is eggs, so those of you that are not vegan can still take those. We sometimes eat eggs, but we also add it to our dog's diet, shell included, so this is great that we can find that here. Although quite a few products like broccoli and peas were actually packaged in plastic, we do find them in the freezer, package free, or plastic free I mean. They do come in paper, but that's perfect, and we can just keep them in the freezer. So that was a regular Dutch supermarket. As you see, many products are packaged in plastic. I'm actually very curious to see what you guys are used to. If you were to step into a regular supermarket that you are most close to, then are there many products that are package free? So one of the things that we found most interesting is that some products that were more vulnerable were not packaged, whereas other products were. So the carrots were packaged, but courgettes or zucchinis were not, and that was quite odd. And aside from that, there were many packages that were of paper, and then they had this small plastic window, or things that were packaged in plastic simply for convenience, or cans that were not made of aluminum but of some other material. All these types of things make buying plastic-free products quite difficult, not only because many things are packaged in plastic, but also because some products contain plastic when you wouldn't think they do. So that's also why you saw that we were quite confused about the glass jars that either had a lid that could go in the glass recycling because it was fully metal, or that it had to go in the general waste. So I actually contacted a friend because I knew that she would know more about that, and she was also under the impression that most of those lids could just go into the recycling, but then again it looks like they have plastic. So that's just one of the general concerns that we have, things that we don't know. We now know that cans that contain a very acidic content will have a BPA lining, and that would probably be stuff like tomatoes and tomato puree. And other jars that don't contain anything that is very acidic will not have this plastic coating. We have just tried to refrain from buying anything that comes in packaging at all, because for us, whilst living in a van, it's actually quite difficult to dispose of your waste. And we are now currently collecting our biodegradable waste, so veggies and fruits and stuff that comes from that, but we can't really easily find a place to dispose of them. But yeah, at some point we will have to discard them, and we hope to find a good place to put them in the compost. That will be quite difficult to find, as we don't know the location at times where we are. so we can't really find where to dispose of them, but we'll see how that goes. So thanks so much for watching, and I will now show you guys our view and where we will be eating today. So this is the view when we step out of our van. Isn't that amazing?